So, since the last time I've done a few things, I'm going to stop apologising for being late with my updates as it never seems to work. So anyway, on with the show. A little about my week. The weekend was pretty quiet. I started to feel much better after my illness and was making amends. I was back training on the Monday and helped get Nazi ready for his fight on the Tuesday. I also did some of the classes in between that when Nazi was resting for his fight and rested in the evenings. The following day, because it was Tuesday, there was no private lessons with Nazi as his fight was on, but I did one of the classes instead. The show was incredible. 2 title fights for lower weight classes. There was also 10 fights instead of the usual 9. It was a great show, and I hung out with Nazi before the fight and got a picture with him. The fight ended with a knockout from Nazi with a right straight to the guy's face. It's possibly one of the best fights I've seen in Thai boxing since my trip began. Shortly after, we headed back down from the show and stopped in Massey's bar for a couple of drinks with some of the winners and two of my friends that were leaving. All in all, it was a good night, but had way too much to drink. Following day, I was written off, feeling ill and not being able to train properly. I threw up. Shortly after that, I got my head down and slept off my hangover, grabbed some food and chilled back at the room before bed. After that day, I seem to have been feeling a lot better, but just used the day to relax and take care of things before I came home. Make sure I had a taxi for my flight and even picked up my new mouth guard. It says the Revelator on it. Before going for a couple of beers and headed to Quran, I met a few Russian people, sang songs on karaoke, played ping pong, and kind of drank a lot. These are some of the photos from the night. The following day I was so hungover I didn't get up till about 2:45 and missed my training yet again. So I messaged Nazi and he said no problem, don't miss Friday. I also booked my friend Alan Skelly, who's a photographer, to sort out some photos for the memories, and hope you guys enjoy. After a busy day, I headed to bed. Saturday was a barbecue beatdown. Also booked to go to the PP Islands on Saturday morning till the evening. It was amazing. The first 2 places were really busy and it seemed just a little too touristy, but the tour guide changed the plan of the journey and got some alone time in the special locations on the island. Beautiful place and got some very good memories in paradise. Hope you enjoy. The night finally came round of the beatdown. It was great. It was fancy dress, but I didn't have anything to dress up in, so I went in my normal clothes and still had a great time. The fights were great and the company was awesome. That night, Nazi asked me to go to a Thai-only bar with him and 2 of the other trainers, have a few drinks with them. There was only Thai music, but it was so much fun. We drank 6 bottles of whiskey between a lot of us. We were all well and truly drunk. I got a lift back to camp and headed to bed, knowing I was going to feel rough in the morning. As you guessed, Sunday was a write-off, and I relaxed and recovered for that day. I just chilled, watched some films, and mainly tried to get rid of the hangover. Then went to bed, nice and early, ready to train on Monday. I woke up at 10 and got ready, had a shower, ate some breakfast, then began my final week of training with Nazi before I headed home. It was intense, it kicked my ass a lot. But he told me like I've improved so much since I started. I need to carry on training when I'm back in England for when I come next time. The evening was chilled out. I mainly just relaxed and hung out with Amy and Vicky before we were all shattered and headed to bed. So I slept horrible last night. Missed my private this morning, but I went to the pool and relaxed and had a good swim. The rest of the day was pretty boring and not much to do, so I just watched people training and then headed to bed. I trained the following day, worked hard and enjoyed my training. Went for a meal in the evening, had a few beers with people I met along the way. It was a great evening, had a great time with the people I care about. So this was Friday, my last day here. Was up, trained hard with Nazi, worked on a lot more technique. My friends came and watched me, and that takes me to now. I'm packed, I'm ready to go. I'm having a meal with Vicky and Amy later, and then off to the airport for my flight. The next post will be when I arrive back in England. So take care of yourself, and thanks for tuning in on the First Adventures JD. You've been a great audience. Thank you to the people who have supported me along my way and my fans, basically. Yeah, well, thank you anyway, and all the best in the future, and hope to hear from you guys again.